Hello, good people. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are having an amazing Monday. Happy Monday. I promised you a follow video about self-sabotage, and here it is. So, I'm just going to be real candid and honest in this video and talk about what I believe is a blockage or an area where the devil works, and that is through self-sabotage. Um, Oftentimes, we're just simply put, we're our own worst enemy. We're our own worst enemy. And it's not like we're trying to be our own worst enemy. It's just that the devil knows if there are areas of weakness, if there are areas that need to be healed, if there are areas of trauma, that's where he works. But he's very subtle with it. So oftentimes you don't even really know he's doing X, Y, and Z until the outcome of it. And you're like, what? What just happened? So I wanted to talk about this because the premise of this channel is really understanding that you are the asset. You're the asset, right? We've been trained and conditioned to believe that money is the asset, right? So oftentimes we chase after money. But I want to challenge you to not think that way and to really work on you. Because I believe that when you are healthy, when you are whole, when you are healed, the money will find you. The money will find you. But let me explain. What the devil will do, and I'll just use myself as an example, and I'm going to give you another example as well. So I am a product of childhood trauma, and I'm not going to go into specifics, but I'm a product of childhood trauma, right? So I personally have always had to deal with, on some level, low self-esteem, right? And so I have to work day in and day out to make myself feel relevant because I know that that's an area that I struggle in. I'll even give you a better example. I'm going to use this YouTube channel as a prime example of what I'm talking about. So you start a YouTube channel. I'm realistic in my expectations. This channel is maybe almost 4 weeks old now. I'm very realistic in my expectations of knowing that more likely than not, when I put this channel together, that it's not going to blow up in a month's time, unless I'm really fortunate, really blessed. And I mean, trust me, it's hard to do, right? So I'm realistic in that expectation. I'm not coming into this thinking, oh, I'm going to put a video up and it's just going to blow up. I know things take time. I know it's just a lot of stuff that, that happens, that needs to happen, so forth and so on. A lot of stuff I need to learn. I need to grow in the space. And not just grow in terms of numbers. I'm talking about just growing in terms of how to create videos, how to market myself, how to put myself out there, so forth and so on, right? But because I deal with and have dealt with low self-esteem because of the childhood trauma, I have to be careful to not get so caught up in numbers and things of that nature. And let me tell you why. Because what the enemy will do is so subtle, but I'm telling you, if you get this is going to bless your life. And then I'm using the YouTube channel as an example, but this could be in any area. So what the enemy will do, I started out obviously with, like everybody else, with 0 subscribers, right? And right now I'm at about, 25, 26 subscribers. I've only been doing this for 3 weeks, maybe 3. I don't even think it's been a month yet. The enemy will get in your head to the degree that he will start putting thoughts like, this isn't working, people aren't subscribing, blah, blah, blah. And it will just be all kind of thoughts. And it's not like, let me be very clear. It's not like I'm hearing voices or anything. It's just a subtle thought, and so you have to fight that. One of the things that I realize is that, because what will happen is, let me explain. The enemy is not worried about you getting money. I want to emphasize that. I want to keep saying that the enemy is not worried about you getting money. Let me tell you what the enemy is worried about. The enemy is worried about you getting power and authority. And he understands that if you have access to enough money and enough resources, and you are healthy and whole as it relates to how you see yourself in the world and how you project yourself to the world, you will be a force to be reckoned with. That is what he's concerned about. He understands that if you get millions of dollars, you don't take any of that stuff with you. He doesn't care about you getting money. He cares about you getting power and authority. That's the whole point. He doesn't want you to get enough money and access to enough resources so that you will be able to move things and shift things in the world, for you to be actually able to have power. So that's what he's concerned about. So let me explain, go back to the YouTube channel. What he will do is, when you're in your infancy stage of, say, something like this, he will put all types of thoughts in your head and frustrate you through those thoughts so that he can stop you, so that you can get so frustrated with it that you quit. That's a form of self-sabotage, but it's so subtle. And if you don't really pay attention and don't really say, okay, I got to refocus because I know the enemy is working through this. So I'll give you an example about this channel. This channel is called, I titled it The Money Whisperer, right? And if you look at my description, it talks about how I was given a prophecy when I was a little girl, like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old. You can read it. But anyway, I was given a prophecy that everything my hand touches is blessed. I would be successful in business. I had the gift of miracles. This is a true story. I am not making this up. And then this lady, literally, my aunt and I, we were visiting a church. I'd never been to this church. I don't know these people. She had me come up to the front of the church, and she had me touch every person's pocketbook, their wallet, so forth and so on. So if the enemy knows that I have that gift, but he also knows that I'm dealing with childhood trauma, he's going to poke those holes. He does not ever want me to have access to the gift, to my full potential, because he understands that if I ever fully walk in it, I am going to be a force to be reckoned with. So what does he do? He puts subtle thoughts in your mind, and he does it over and over and over again. And as a kid, you don't know any better. It's just a thought. You know what I'm saying? As a kid, it's just a thought. And it rehearses, and you keep repeating it until you know, before you know it, you have sort of unconsciously messed up your own blessing. That's what it looks like. It's not like you're just getting up and you're just like, oh, I want to mess up my, no, it's the enemy. It's subtle because you have wounds that have not been healed. You have issues that have not been addressed. And until those holes are closed, until those wounds are healed, he's going to continue to do it. So what I have to do in terms of this channel, I have to tell myself, at the end of the day, I am the money whisperer. Now, let me explain. What that means is that regardless of what this channel does, numbers-wise, regardless of the reach, regardless of any of it, my gift is still the gift. What God has put me on this earth to do, I'm still able and capable of doing it. I still have the opportunity and the ability to cause money to come to me. But I also understand there's an enemy that is going to fight me every step of the way, because he does not want me to not so much have access to the money. He knows that if I get access to the money, he knows eventually, guess what? I will be a force to be reckoned with. And that's the same thing that holds true for you. And that is why, if you have unhealed wounds, if you're a victim of trauma or any of the above, if there are areas that he can work, he will work, because he does not want you to understand that you are the asset. You are the commodity. You are the one that brings the value. The money doesn't bring you value. You bring the money value. Whether or not you know that or you don't know that, I'm telling you, you are the asset. But as long as he can make you the victim, as long as he can make you, less than, as long as he can be in your head and frustrating you, he will. But once you start to understand that you are the asset, I promise you the money will come your way. Now, I want to say this. You got to do the work. You got to do the work. I'm up. It is like, I think 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm up. I'm doing the work. Let me tell you the difference between chasing money and understanding how it flows to you. I'm up. I'm doing the work. This is what I learned. I have other streams of income, and I work a 9-to-5 job, right? What I have learned is that you show up and you let the money find you. You don't chase it. You showing up is the work. Me doing this video is the work. I can't worry about the outcome of this video. Me showing up to my job. I have a job where I do make some level of make commission. So I don't worry about it. Now, I'm not saying that I don't go in and try to do my best. I do. But once I've done that, I let it go. because I trust that I bring the value and that the money that's going to find me that day is going to find me. I'm not going to chase it. I don't chase money, period. I get up, I do the video, I'm doing what I'm doing now, and I trust that when God is ready to open this door economically, he will open it. But the Bible says faith without works is dead. I can believe all I want, but if I don't get up and do this video, nothing's going to happen. It's not like the money going to fall from the sky. I don't want to give you that illusion. But I will say that if you work on you, if you work on the areas that need to be healed, you work on the areas that, that maybe you have trauma bonds, or you deal with some area of trauma. If you work on those areas, you ask God to help you to be healed in those areas. Then you show up and you do the work. You show up for whatever it is the doors that God is opening up for you. And then you don't worry about the outcome. The Bible says, be anxious for nothing. You don't worry about the outcome. You show up because you're saying, God, I'm here. I believe you for X, Y, and Z. I am here. I'm showing up. I'm doing the work. I don't worry about the outcome. I don't worry about the end result. I show up and I let the money find me because I believe I'm the value. I bring the value. I am the asset. I am the commodity. That's the way you need to think so that the money will then find you. And then that gets you out of that area of self-sabotage. Because what the enemy will do is, I've watched it. I have witnessed it. You'll get the blessing and you'll mess it up. And I've been a victim of it. I'm not going to act like I haven't. You will get the blessing and you will mess it up. I done watched it with my own eyeballs. I'm going to give you one final example and then I'm going to get out of your hair. I used to work with a lady years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago. I never will forget. We were on the same level. She came in. I had way more experience, but I never had a desire to be a manager or move up or any of that. I'm the type of person, just want to go in, make my money, go home, and do my life outside of, my 9 to 5. She wanted to move up. The person that got her into the job was a higher up. And so she basically, kind of a little bit of nepotism going on, but she pulled the strings and pulled her up the ranks. She got the promotion. I could tell she had issues. Never opened my mouth, just came in, did my work. Her husband would come up to the job sometimes. And when I say they were trauma bonding. And this is not to place judgment. This is just to show you how you can get the blessing as well. You can get the money and the resources and mess over it. Self-sabotage. So anyway, he would come up to the job. He didn't work. She got up every day and worked. He was on some form of disability, but the man was very capable of working because he would do like little in and out odd jobs, labor type things here and there. He was alcoholic. He definitely did drugs, and he had a serious gambling addiction. So literally she would get paid. They had a joint account. Within the next week, maybe even days, she would be so mad because she would be like, I'm out here working, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, and he just messing over the money. He would drink it up, he would drug it up, and he would go to the casino or wherever else and go gamble all the money. She done got up every day and worked. Trauma bonding. You got issues, and then that man got issues, and y'all coming together, and God is opening up doors for you. But because the areas of trauma, the areas that need to be healed have not been addressed, self-sabotage. I never will forget one day she came into work. She was so mad. She was crying. And she was talking about how literally over the weekend she had to pawn. And this is, I guess, I don't even know if people still pawn stuff nowadays. But anyway, she had to pawn her TV to be able to just get to work and do the normal things for the rest of the, like the 2-week period in between the time we were getting paid. That's what I'm talking about. We get blessings, we get opportunities, but if we're not careful and if we haven't dealt with the areas that need to be healed, the devil will work circles around you. You will be going in circles, getting absolutely nowhere because you'll get the blessing, and because you haven't dealt with the areas that need to be healed, you will mess up your own blessing. And that's what self-sabotage looks like. I know it because I've lived it. I've done it, been there, done that. So it is my prayer today that we figure this out. It's not easy. The devil is constantly working. I don't care how much you work on being healed. He's constantly working on finding ways to get under your skin, to work in your head, to get you frustrated, so forth and so on. Like I told you, I use the YouTube journey here. I have to be careful because the enemy will be all up in my head. You're not getting subscribers. They don't like your videos, blah, 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 blah. And I have to just tell myself, first of all, I just started doing this. Second of all, I have other streams of income and I am the money whisperer. And at the end of the day, the money will find me. And if it's God's will, it'll find me through this platform. Just that simple. But at the end of the day, what I want to help you to do is to get healthy, to get whole, to get healed, so that you can stop messing up your blessings and we can move and we can walk in the power and the authority that God has called us to walk in. And that is the message. I am done. I could keep rambling, going on and on and on. I gave y'all the longest video ever. We did 15 minutes. That's a flex. No, I'm joking. This camera thing is not my thing, but I do believe that I do have the gift. And that my area of expertise is being able to show you how to heal and how to do what you need to do so that the money can find you. And then more importantly, once you get the money, we got to figure out how to not let the enemy steal what God has given us. We got to get healed. We got to deal with the trauma and whatever issues we need to deal with. And we hopefully can deal with it together and move forward. We can get the bag and do the things that God has called us to do in the earth. I love you guys.